yeah, for women.
But
Yeah.
I think women, we're mostly like that. Men, it's all about, what's flashy, what's beautiful. But for me, I think it's a nice question you're asking, because for women, I think it's mostly the emotional intelligence, someone you will literally be able to talk to. A lot of women are very attracted with intelligent men for a reason, because we like to be able to share opinions, to go to talk with someone, to be able to share with someone. Yes, the sex, we can have it. Like, we're women, and all of us, we're so beautiful. If we go, if it was possible to go out right now, we will have sex just like that. But to have someone where you can really enjoy a beautiful conversation and you can literally be able to have a connection, it's hard. So for me, it would be someone that I can emotionally connect,
Yeah, I think most guys would be like, I think most guys would be satisfied with like a blow up doll that just said yes and thank you, and that was like very submissive. Whereas women, we do want something and need something more intelligent and more emotional than that. Yeah. So yeah, I think that definitely plays a factor. Personally, like if it can cook me dinner, if it can cook me breakfast, lunch, and dinner,
I agree with that. Can the physical intelligent doll cook dinner? Can be like articulated, like physically able to like get down on their knees or like slap your ass or something?
I'm about to get down.
Grab you by the neck. I don't know.
For me, if the doll can cook, I'm done. I don't want any man anymore.
I don't know what else.
Can they pick you up and throw you on a bed? Like, I don't know. If they can do that, then great.
Be careful. It's a
I don't know. Cooking a steak on a barbecue. Cooking a steak on a barbecue is much hotter than throwing me on a bed at this point in my life.
That's right. I need to
go to like a more basic point. Think about just intimacy. Like, remove the relationships aspect of it. I feel like the anatomy of a man makes it so much easier to get them off than the anatomy of a woman.
Of course.
Like, a penis is external. A vagina is internal. Like, right there's complications added to it. So like, a guy like shows me his penis, I know what to do with it. You just like stroke it a couple of times and then has a good time. For me, it's like up, down, sideways, back, reverse, bring it back. Okay, forward, fast forward, slow down.
You also want to be like, I'm the best at it, so you can't just stroke it up and down once or twice. You want to be like, you want to impress the man if you like him. It's not like, oh, get it over with and done. You want to.
I feel like every time I touch a penis, let's get it over with. It's done.
Trish, I think you're not in the mindset for a relationship right now.
Quarantine killed my relationship. I thought I found a great person.
Okay, just to remind you, this is live on Facebook. Okay, just so you know.
My person does not have Facebook, and quarantine killed this relationship. So I'm in a very bitter.
I think
Facebook when it comes to life, I hate you.
But they wouldn't get Facebook for you?
No, he had no Facebook. He had no Instagram. As soon as I said I wanted to be with my mother during quarantine, was like, oh, and then ghosted me.
Oh, no Facebook.
Then he's a loser, and
no.
Good for him.
So I've had that.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you, he has Facebook and he has Instagram, private, where he's family and friends, and a wife or a girlfriend. I've had that before. I was like, oh, would you hooked up with the guy, whatever, and I was like, oh, Facebook. No Facebook, because he had a girlfriend.
Oh
yeah, we dated for the last few months. So I feel like if you say you don't have a Facebook or Instagram, you might be kind of sketchy. You're right. Or you might just not have that. Or you might have an entire different life that you're not telling the person about. Which is why dolls are great.
Okay, well, like, I'm dating a famous Canadian actor, and we've been together for 1.5 years, and nobody really knows who I'm seeing, and they don't know that I'm with him, and that was personal choices to keep privacy. But I also, like, I wouldn't be able to message him on Facebook or Instagram because he wouldn't be the one answering. It would be his, like, social media marketing manager. So I can't be like, hey, baby, what are you doing tonight? And she'll be like, hi, this is Angela. How can I help you?
No, that's not good. No,
but I
think
what I think what you two are doing is really smart. Protect your relationships. If you're I've dated a couple of guys who are kind of famous. If you put it out, and we've never put it out there, I think it's really smart to protect that. Even if you're with somebody who's not famous and you're like, this guy's normal, I'm going to put it out there. Afterward, it seems like there's this pressure on it once it becomes social, and it's not healthy.
Totally.
It's not. I think it's like actually admirable
so
that you guys have.
Levels other than A-listers were really like what? Whatever.
Keep it private. Keep it private, especially if you're someone who has fans. Keep it private.
No, I agree 100%. Like, a relationship should not be shared as much on Facebook. Because you have jealous women who will look at your relationship and be like, oh, why she has that relationship? Or let me see if I can get her man, you know? Or sometimes men too will do that, try to break a relationship. It's not only women who does that. So I think, you're right. We should keep it private. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and you have to have that level of trust with the person, right? Like, if you just know that you can trust them, even if they don't have social media or whatever, they have somebody managing their account. Like, it depends. If you're, like, always wondering if they're, like, messaging other girls, or, like, if you don't trust them, then, like, that's different, right?
Yeah, well, if someone's managing their account, they're, like, really high up there, like, up there, like, you know, you got to be really high up.
Well, it's also why, like, I'm not sexting him on social media, because, like, I don't want to have a conversation with Angela. Like,
you're in the bedroom with him. You're not in social media mode.
Yeah, like, that's just, like, it's off topic. Like, it's like where.
And the weird thing is, fame is such a weird thing, because actors all do the same thing, and then all of a sudden you get into some show that's viral and you get all these weird people messaging you, but at the end of the day, what you want is a real human connection and that person who is there for you. So that's why I feel like sex dolls are a little bit impersonal, because they are kind of a thing that's like, there's something about someone being there for you through thick and thin, or success or no success, or fame or no fame, and you can't replicate that with a sex doll.
No, they added so much like AI to the sex doll, which is different. You know, they literally remember everything about you.
It's true.
I don't know. It's not like I really want to buy one, because I don't see myself having one, but I understand why someone will want one. You know what I mean? Because let's say it's hard to connect with a man. Now it's different. It's not the same that it was before. It's hard to connect with a man, and it's hard for men to connect with women. It's not only one way. So that's why I wanted to talk about sex dolls, because I feel like now, especially now that we are in quarantine, it's even more important to think about that.
Okay, but then, Sabine, do we need the doll? If it's about affection and emotional connection, is the doll necessary, or is, like, just a software that we could converse with, like an updated, upscaled Siri that I could have a conversation with?
That's an app. Physical presence is necessary. Physical presence, because men, when they have that doll in their mind, it is a physical presence, because after a few days, we watch the video and so on, they create a personality, and so when they wake up, they have a feeling that they have to tend to the doll, like they have to dress her or whatever it is, and then they have somebody to say hi in quotes, right? So in a sense, because a phone is kind of like technical, but when there's the physical kind of whatever they create, the fantasy in their head, it appears to be a real kind of an empty bed with flowers.
Yeah, I don't see why we have an empty bed here, but that's interesting. I don't know. Maybe there's a doll on the bed. Whose bed is that? Trying to make all this talk about doll. Let me go get mine.
No, but Al, like, I think you had a really good point, like, just about, like, especially, like, so many people live alone, right? So even just having a voice thing, even if there isn't something physically there, like, it would still make you feel less lonely, right? So
but I make that physical appearance is where you know, you can look at a screen and shut it off, but when you have an item in your whatever you're in dark, you know, it makes it more real, right?
Totally. I agree with that too. Yeah.
And men have their fantasy runs wild. Women are a lot more realistic and logical and kind of sensible, or not senseless, but sense. Like, because so all those when we attach emotions and whatever else, women have like that kind of feeling, emotion, and mind. Men can use kind of detach themselves from it and have the fantasy run their world. In a sense, they create a world through fantasy. And that's more normal to them, and that's acceptable. And so that's why I think it's more spread out, not spread out, but more the sex dolls and so on that are much more, well, sex industry is much more acceptable in men, you know, so that's just
geared towards
more natural.
I feel like it's more geared towards men. They use it more than we do. Like, if you want an emotional connection, I don't know. Like, I can go online and like dating apps, stuff like that, and start conversations with men, and that's all I need. And then at night, I come back to my vibrator.
Yeah,
I'm good.
No, and like, honestly, there's so many women out there now that are so self-sufficient, so independent. Like, men actually need and rely on companionship more than women do. Like, you know, they say, like, even in statistics, when couples get divorced or when somebody dies in the relationship, like, men often, they're dating soon after, they're already remarried or whatever. Like, women often stay single. Like, they don't need that other person, right? So men need that, though. Like, they need someone to cook for them. They need someone to, like, take care of them. So it's different.
I didn't check the message, but I'm curious to see the message we are having under that live Facebook. My problem is with the technical problem. I cannot see the message, but I'm curious to see the message we are receiving from all the people about that conversation.
I knew it. My friend used to say, because she was from elsewhere, Morocco.
I think Trish is my spirit animal.
Yeah. The prom queen is dead.
I know,
like
Trish
a house
is amazing.
girl eating Pringles with a prom dress underneath. Like, Trish, I think you're my spirit animal.
Wait, you guys can see this right now?
Oh,
yes.
I thought it was like completely anonymous.
No, I know. Like, that was too funny. You don't know, girls, how drunk I am. I'm trying to not be drunk, but I am drunk.
Bottle. Like, this is almost finished.
I was like, if I
I was gonna share the last glass of
so I can just like eat my bag of chips and
I
throw my robe and kick up my feet, and no one will know.
Yeah, we know. I was even before I saw your chips. I was like, "Who's eating chips?" I was like, "I know."
What's going on? Okay, what's going on right now?
Come on, girl.
I'm so embarrassed. I had no idea anyone could see me doing this.
Oh, yeah.
I thought if I don't talk, they won't know what I'm really doing.
Yeah, and remember, you're live on Facebook. Just remember.
Hi, Facebook people. What do you think about sex dolls? Don't judge us. You tell us, because you think this.
What do I think about sex dolls?
You're in a relationship. you're in a relationship. Like, how does that relate to you and your relationship? You're already with someone.
I think sex doll, in my opinion, it's important because I feel like more and more we are disconnected. I feel like men are getting disconnected with women, and it's my own opinion, and women are getting disconnected with men. And I feel like...
Sorry, did you say disconnected or disconnected?
Disconnected?
Or just
Did you say disconnected?
Like disconnected.
No, disconnected. Like, pew, disconnected. Like, not connected. Like,
just clarifying.
What was the other thing? Well,
yeah, I feel like dolls can have men and women. I am so drunk. So I'm trying to say that conversation.
Don't say
I'm trying. And I'm trying to say it in English, which is another talent. So I feel like men and women need to learn to talk with each other. And I feel like a doll will help. I think if you see it more as a tool to be able to reconnect the conversation that is lost. I think that
did you say conversation or conversation?
No, she's the bad one. I
can't hear.
Such a good one.
I say conversation. That's too funny. I'm trying to look okay, but I'm seriously drunk.
You're fine.
I have no idea how inappropriate I can be. And I have to remind myself I am live on Facebook.
Say what you have to say.
So to come back to what I was saying, I'm saying that we need dolls, we need sex dolls, we need all kind of shit to be able to reconnect people together. Because I feel like we cannot talk to each other anymore. It's lost, and I feel like a doll will be like a something in the middle that will be able to connect you. I'm not saying to have a threesome with a doll, but if it helps, why not? Because in a way, we need to reconnect people with each other. I know that a lot of men have told me they don't know how to talk to a woman anymore. And I know a lot of women have told me they don't know how to talk with a man anymore. But if you have some kind of artificial intelligence in the middle of the couple, maybe that will help. So in my opinion, I think that can help. And I won't be jealous if there's a doll in the relationship because it's a fucking doll. Sorry, my language. I am drunk, remember. Because it's a doll. And the doll will create a link between the two. And once it's, I know. I see it in another way. I see it positive. I think it's a good thing. It's my opinion on wine, for sure. Maybe tomorrow I won't agree with myself.
You see it as a facilitator.
Exactly. That's how I see it. I see it as a way to be able to communicate with each other because it's hard now. Like, I've talked to a lot of men who told me they don't know how to talk with women anymore. And I talked to a lot of women who told me the same thing. But if you use an artificial intelligence, we will be able to gather data between men and women, or between a couple, a man and a woman, and we'll be able to facilitate the conversation between the two. I really think it can be a good thing. And I think we need to be able to have that conversation because I seriously don't think that we can talk to each other anymore. I think there's so many...
sorry to interrupt, to facilitate like a relationship, like you're saying, for example,
exactly.
Then would the sex of the doll matter then?
Maybe the sex is a good thing as well. Okay, if I say something really bad, please stop me. Because at this point, I'm too drunk to calculate what I'm going to say. But if the man likes to do few things and different part of the woman that she doesn't want to, the doll can take care of that. Like, if the guy likes to take the woman...
If you're not satisfying your man, then you feel like short-handed.
And the doll can teach the woman, and the doll can teach the man. I don't know if it makes sense, because right now, the naked grape is literally going in my system right now.
Yes, Sabine!
Yes.
I approach this in a very pragmatic way. I think that I've never been someone to be able to satisfy someone 100%, to give them everything they desire. And likewise, nobody's been my 100% to give me everything that I've desired. So I kind of, piggybacking on what you're saying, Sabine, that maybe this could be a way for you to be able to kind of reach that 100% or get closer to it by having both the doll and your partner.
So you were saying about having kind of like where you have problems and so on in a relationship, and then the doll comes in and you kind of satisfied whatever. There's certain things that you cannot provide, so the doll will provide, and then that fixes your relationship. Do you think that same approach would be like some people like, oh, we'll just have a baby, or we'll have like that? It's like a fix. So if our dolls is just a fix, so is that something that is inevitable, that the relationship is not working?
Okay, but you can put the doll in the garbage can. You can't put the baby in the garbage can.
No.
Yeah, okay, but that's not
right. Like the doll can be temporary. The child cannot.
Absolutely, but I mean, no, of course not. But I'm saying like fixing the problem. I'm just what Sabine just said about like how certain people cannot satisfy. Or they have issues, and then they reach and search for certain things that will fix the problem in their relationship. That's what I'm talking about. And so if you bring in the doll, and that's gonna, like, you thinking that's gonna fix the problem, which it won't if the problem is.
Has anybody been 120% satisfied in sex? Only in few instances, like I mean, always 120% satisfied in sex. I mean, no, we're never always 120% satisfied.
Unless we're orgasming, I'm satisfied. If I'm orgasming, I'm fucking satisfied.
It's the whole scope of the actual action. When, like the human interaction, like the way that he's gonna say things to you afterwards, and like before, and the whole thing. We're like 10 out of 10 or 12 out of 10? No, like I feel like almost like a sex doll is like it's like a sex toy. Like you want to bring it. I like it. I don't like it. It's the only reason you're relationship. But like, is it gonna fix everything? No. Like
exactly. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay, so I have a question.
Temporarily, throw the baby in the fucking dumpster or not, but it's not everybody else said, but throw it up in the air.
Question.
Doesn't matter. You still got the baby to handle, and repercussions and jail time. But that's different.
What's up, Trish? What's your question?
So apparently in Japan, from my research, not only are there artificial dolls, but there is this artificial intelligence app where you literally just have to sign on, and you've got this girlfriend who's like an artificial girlfriend. And when I went down the YouTube rabbit hole of sex dolls and artificial girlfriends, apparently it's very common in Japan to have artificial girlfriends on an app. For $20 a month,
there you go.
Have the girl of your dreams. What do you guys think of that?
Why don't we all chip in and test it out?
We can all share a boyfriend.
$4 each? You gonna try?
Okay, I would love to check it out. I would love to try it.
But if the companionship is what you need, then you get that provided to you by this app. That's what I was saying when I was like, well, do you need the doll? If the purpose is companionship, then you don't need the doll. If you want to be fucked and have the companionship, you could have the app and a sex toy.
Most of the time,
especially now because we all have at home with that quarantine thing, Yeah, we all have home,
Well, and now they're saying that for $20 a month, you can have this app where you have a virtual relationship. They're having sex later because of it and having less babies. Because
well, is it only a girlfriend or you have a boyfriend as well?
I prefer. Oh, time. She's showing clock. Time.
Showing time.
Time is of essence.
Is it only a boyfriend?
No, it's like a boyfriend or a girlfriend, either or, but you can have this virtual partner who you chat with throughout the day. It's someone who's texting you, they're make believe, they text you. You never see them, they're on an app. But apparently in Japan, it's huge, and people are having sex later now because of it.
I could see that. I can see how huge that.
Because they would rather be in a relationship with someone who's on this app than a real person who gives them shit. So is this a future? Not only like sex dolls, but also this app where you can chat with some make-believe lover who tells you the things you actually want to hear.
Well, how stupid and delusional a person is, I guess that's where it is. Or lonely.
I try. I would love to try it.
I'll give you love, honey. You don't need
Show me your titties. Show me
I think we all can see it. That my titties are out. For the pleasure of all of you. And with wine, which tomorrow I will regret what I just said, my titties are just there, round and pretty and ready.
y'all look beautiful. Girls, you look fantastic. Y'all look gorgeous. Such a pleasure. Such a pleasure to meet. I am so glad, I had a little bit of a nerve, like, it's been a while. So nice to see y'all. You all look fantastic, and I hope to see you soon.
It's great that we're doing that because it is pretty hard on everybody that thinks that we have to stay at home. We're not sure about our work. And even though there is that help from the government, we all are creative people. And it's not about money. It's about performing. It's about creating. So I think it's great what we're doing, even though we're like totally drunk right now. But we're still having fun.
But wait though, at our age, where we at in our lives, does anybody want to spend $20,000 on a doll? Like, I'd rather wait. I don't give a fuck. Like,
I don't have $20,000, girl.
I know that's fun.
Yeah, I think I'd rather wait and be alone and date myself. Myself is free. She's very cheap. She's free. She will take a bag of Cheetos and a cooler
A cucumber costs a lot less than $20,000.
I agree. Let's go for the cucumber. 20 cents in the aisle after you spend 6 feet away from someone and order it online. But get a cucumber, forget the sex dolls.
A cucumber, but it's gonna break. A cucumber.
Yeah, you do have to keep replacing it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Gotta be fresh.
It's not expensive. You can find nice one on Amazon.com or .ca. Especially now.
I like Dominique's face.
Yeah, I know. Dominique, she just made a face. It's like, oh. My vibrator.
Think about it. Are they?
I love how Trish is showing us her bed right now. Like she's about to be a cam girl.
How do you guys see my bed? How is that happening? I feel like every time I see my I'm busted. It shows you my room. It's activated by sound, and I eat a chip, and it's like
we can see it. Oh,
Trish, it's very embarrassing.
I don't think anybody should be paying for a sex doll unless they're in their 80s or their 70s, and there's no other option.
I agree.
And again, what did our grandparents do? They lived without sex dolls.
Domino.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Our grandparents
They were
would be
able
happy
to
to
get
have sex
around
dolls.
without sex dolls. They did it. Okay? It's
I know, but now there is sex dolls. Our grandparents will be happy to have some. I'm telling you. I'm pretty sure my grandmother will love one. Sorry, grandmother.
Oh, angel doll, angel dick.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
just imagine you're in a really bad
It's got.
Yeah, I'm gonna say like it's more for if you're like older or if you're like lonely and
Okay. I don't want to imagine older.
Yeah.
You're lonely.
I know, but now it's a new reality, though.
Old and lonely.
It's a new reality. Now people are getting all things online, and they're getting sex dolls and even porn. They watch it with virtual reality. It's not the same world. We're living in a different world, and with this virus, we're definitely going into a new world. You know, even
But look at us. Look at us.
I'm not joking. Even porn now is consumed in a different way with virtual reality. You know, it's different.
I'm excited. Question: would you be a virtual sex doll? I don't know. Is that a question?
For $1 million? Like
Like
$1 million? If
$1 million, who's gonna give you $1 million for that?
no one.
No. Yeah. I'd be like, sign me up.
$1 million for sure.
Okay,
No one's
so
giving
we're
me
all saying not to be for like not necessarily agree to be a sex doll, but what about virtual? Would anyone agree?
Like if you were like texting someone and Skyping and that kind of stuff?
Virtual, like just what Sabine was saying, like the virtual one. Like,
Those people
would you go out your body and like everything?
Okay, but like, I'm sorry, Janna, like we're like actors. We do like Ubisoft video games. That's kind of the same thing, is it not? So if you're telling me you're going to pay me $1 million to be a CGI mocap video game sex doll?
You know what? We're not paying you $1 million to be a mocap sex doll.
$1 million.
I am a mocap sex doll for $1 million.
Or do you want to buy for any other thing?
I want a prequel. Sign me up.
I'm in anytime. I'm in. I'm telling you. Virtual reality sex doll, here I am. What about you, Dominique?
Not gonna happen? Is that what I was saying? That's what I'm like, oh, is that like eventually is that a new project for people, for men, like where they
It should be, because I want $1 million.
Come up with $1 million. Wow, where are you pulling out $1 million out of? I wish $1 million. I'll take it too.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's go for $1 million.
$1 million, but okay.
I mean, girls, we can all share it. That's 200,000 each. It's good.
Thank you
Okay,
so
guys,
much.
we're gonna have to end it, unfortunately.
Thank
But
you
is
so
there
much.
a last thing you all want to say before we end it? I want to hear something like your last word about sex doll.
I'll be your sex doll.
I'm going to tell you, I don't want a sex doll. I want the real thing. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I think everyone wants the real thing, but when the real thing disappoints us, it's nice to know that sex dolls, if we can afford them, do exist.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait for the real thing, because if I had a sex doll right next to me right now, I would still be like drinking prosecco, engaging with you guys, and I'd be like, "What do you want? Like, what is it? Like, wait."
I'll be already.
Yeah.
Come on.
If it wants to come clean my house and cook me breakfast, lunch, and dinner, then sign me up.
And what I have to say is, if you have $1 million lying around, I will be your virtual sex doll.
You really want that million?
I think I will say the same thing. If you have $1 million I will be a sex doll. But I love the real thing. I've been talking a lot about getting a sex doll, whatever, but it's always great to connect with real people. And this is all I am about. I'm a people lover. For everybody who knows me, I love people, you know? So
what about us people who are like introvert, extroverts? We're kind of shy. We're stuck.
Trish, you're not even a people right now. You're like a ghost.
Really?
Yeah, Trish, we don't see you anymore. What's going on?
Okay, I just activated my video. Let's see here. Where's my photo? Where is it? Can you hear me?
There you
go. See me?
You're back.
Okay, what about us? We're like all on our own. We're kind of introverted, but we're a little extroverted, and we're like, for months we could literally be in isolation and not have a guy.
Okay, we can wait. We can wait. I can wait.
Do we wait?
Yeah.
I can wait.
We got lots of time. I can wait.
I can wait.
Go for months without any human interaction. What if I just want to touch somebody?
Here we are.
It's time to order.
You just spent 20 minutes touching a bag of chips. Aren't you good, girl?
Yeah.
I got my bag of chips. I got my prom dress, and I've got my robe.
You're good, girl.
That's right.
If it goes on for months, that bag of chips is gonna get real old, real fast.
It's gonna get stale.
Go ahead, still.
Then you just message Janna and you go, show me your titties. Show me your titties.
There
For
it
$1
is.
million.
Again, $1 million. Well, go. We gotta share this $1 million. You take half, I take half. Everybody split. I like that. I like that.
Right. Cheers to that.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Santé, chin chin.
Soon we all come together. Everybody stay safe. It's so nice to see you all be safe, be healthy, be positive. No, it's gonna obviously in time and somehow sometime. But it's a pleasure to connect, and hopefully we connect soon again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, everyone. This was a ton of fun.
This is so much fun. Like, this is the first time, I'm getting dressed up. And
Me
getting
too.
and stuff like that. I'm just like, yeah, girlfriends and stuff like that. And if you want to go,
dressed today, like I'm dressing up.
right.
I agree. It was nice to put on a prom dress with some sweatpants and some weird ugly sport socks and a robe.
I love it. Trish is like, I don't care. I'm getting my robe.
Love it.
I'm just about to do things.
No, it was awesome seeing you ladies, and let's do this again. I love it.
Good night, everyone. I'm going to say bye.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Thanks for tuning in.